Gorgeous.
I'm going out tonight. I'm feeling alright.
What's your karaoke song?
Okay, if I'm absolutely bladdered, it's Without Me by Eminem because I know every single word to that song.
Without Me by Eminem.
Do, 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 do.
Go on, Pops. How's it go?
Because it feels so empty without me. Now, this looks like a job for me, so
okay.
everybody just follow me.
Really good.
Controversy.
That's kind of genius because you're talking, not singing, so you don't have to be like that amazing at singing. Do you know what I mean? It's quite genius.
What about yours?
I don't know because I did karaoke at the weekend because I was a hen and I did quite a lot of songs.
Oh yeah, there are loads of songs that you can
As
do.
you know, I was dressed as Anastasia, so I did do Outer Love.
Obvs.
And I did put a knee slide in.
I'm out of love.
Yeah.
Set
me free.
She sings another one, really famous one, about being cold out. Oh, to be left outside alone.
And it's cold out here. Yeah, really good. It's very important to know because when it gets thrust upon you, you need your song.
I know, I always think
Do you know Holly's is Bleeding Love, Leona Lewis? Can you imagine? Bring the
Babe.
house down. Sit down, kids.
Can I tell you?
Lighters in the air.
For my 12th birthday, did I tell you about
Wait,
this?
I know these parties where you go and record a track. Is that what you did?
And my song was Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis.
Really good. Why? That is hilarious because I've got a friend, Emily Shea, who did that for her. I wasn't friends with her at this time, but when she was 13, she did the same thing. And she picked ugly Sugar Babes. Why are we all picking such
depressing songs? My sister did Sound of the Underground.
Better,
much
very
better.
good. Sexy,
Yeah.
bit sexy.
And they're all their 12-year-old, Sound of the Sound, it's the sound of the underground.
Really good. Well, you best let us know what your karaoke songs are. You could voice note us in a little snippet.
Poppy, what are yours? By the way, have you seen all the comments saying, I love that the girls behind the cameras have a mic now?
Oh no, that's so exciting.
That's so exciting. God, I'm so important.
Okay, mine was Murder on the Dance Floor.
Really good, but now you can't do it.
Babe, I'm having this issue with my wedding. Not that I'm having a wedding. It was my first dance at my wedding.
What wedding?
And now it can't be because it's so lame.
20th birthday, sober in front of everyone.
10-10.
Sober on your 20th birthday.
She did it early doors.
I was sober, I hadn't started drinking.
Oh,
yeah,
fine.
so you thought I'll get the performance out the way first.
Because I want to be on top form.
As you should.
But now, oh God, I can't remember what song it is. Oh, I love a bit of, what's the sense in sharing? That song, Young Hearts, Run Free.
Are you 55, babe?
No, sorry, sometimes I put that in my spin. I think on a climb, young hearts, run free. Nice
I'd
and
be listening
heavy.
to a Fisher.
Really? Oh, at spin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
You're not doing that at karaoke.
Rihanna.
Mine's Ain't No Valley Wide Enough.
Ain't no valley low
really
enough.
good.
Na, 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 na. Keep me from you.
Really good. Well, I'm glad we've got that sorted. Welcome to Leave a Message.
This is the podcast for the Gallies by the Gallies. And basically, Gallies send us in voice messages every week and we try and wade through them and talk about them. I don't want to use the word advice because it is rarely advice.
It's rarely advice. It's more of an opinion or a kind of a speculation on what you might have said and a kind of drawback to when we've done something similar.
The other day, who said this to us? She was like, the best creators are the ones with nothing important to say.
Oh yeah, we were at this event and she was like, no, honestly, my favourite creators are the ones with nothing to say. And Al and I looked at each other and we were like, that's the tagline.
We must get that in our bio.
That's what we've been waiting for when people ask us, what's the podcast about?
Nothing important.
Well, the best creators are the ones with nothing to say. That's what it's about.
Sorry about it.
We've got nothing to say.
We're just noise in your ears, really.
Exactly.
Company.
Oh, sorry, but I thought I should mention my plaster as well. I gave blood.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm not injured.
So how many litres are you giving?
God only knows, but it felt like a lot today.
They don't tell you.
No, I didn't ask. Maybe we should
Love to
Google
know.
it. Girls.
Get on that pink MacBook, Poppy.
The guys opposite me, the serious guys, were giving bone marrow, and now that is a shift.
Through a needle?
I don't know how they do it.
Surely
The
that's an
machine is
operation.
intense. Yeah.
Do you know, bone marrow, I know you're not eating their bone marrow. What do they even
Eating
use
it.
that for? Eating bone marrow is so good for you.
Drinking it, surely.
Like my grandma.
Is it edible?
Like, you know when you have I don't know even what, like a lamb, like a leg and the inside bit.
Got it.
It's
Yeah.
so good
of an
for you.
animal rather
My
than a human.
My nan eats bone marrow too. I feel like it's a Jamaican thing. Like we have oxtail.
Babe, I'm not Jamaican, so I don't think it is a Jamaican thing.
Oh, what? Because your nan's Asian?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was gonna say, we have oxtail. So the oxtail, like you suck them bone marrow.
Yes.
out.
Disgusting. I just want to say, go on, Poppy.
You can tell me about the blood. A pint. Is that it?
That's
like a lot
it.
more than that.
Yeah.
I guess if you saw a
that's
pint
a
of
lot.
blood, you'd
Maybe
be like, that's quite a lot.
Babe, in like a blood, like when they have like blood transfusions, they use like 15 units of that stuff. You're not even going to save one whole person.
They mix it in together, like with other people's. Why didn't they take more from me?
In Grey's Anatomy, they pack at least 3 or 4, units in
We're
there.
not taking our facts from Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, they did have a doctor on the show to make sure that everything was factually medically
But that's like
correct.
Trigger Point. They had an army guy on, and it's like then all the like bomb disposal experts are like, well, it wasn't really like that, but we did it as close as we could.
Did you guys hear about the man who died from the pig transplant?
No.
He died from what?
Yeah, he had accepted the first like pig transplant, and then he actually died 2 months after getting the transplant.
Oh my God, I did it.
Pig blood.
I didn't know he died.
His heart was it
Pig heart.
It was a vital
Pig
organ.
kidney.
I think it was a heart. And I didn't know he died.
Apparently, with different complications, it wasn't just that.
What could be more complicating than a pig's heart in a human body? Do you know what I mean?
That is very confusing to me. My poor little brain can't handle it. I don't think I'd want a pig's heart.
Sorry, I just wanted to say.
Will you give your organs away when you die?
Everyone, unless you opt out, you will.
Now
give
you do.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad about that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think my organs. I hope. Touch wood, pray to God. I live a long life.
Your organs are still fine, aren't they?
No, babe, you're not going to be wanting an 85-year-old's heart. With
No, fair. Maybe just your eyes.
Also, I just want to say, if you want to stay young, eat all those things like bone marrow, fish eyes. My grandma's been eating those for years, and she looks 60.
12.
Yeah, she's
Epic.
jumping around. She's doing laughing. She does this hilarious-
Laughing yoga?
Yeah, which is like.
Really good for you.
So good for you.
Well, I'll tell you about feeling joyous. Sorry, Rahana, I will move on shortly. Charlotte Tilp, I am going to. I'm sorry, I must become an ambassador for this stuff. I've been brainwashed. I've joined the cult. and
it is a cult.
Charlotte Tilbury can now sell me anything. Right, basically, I went to this hen do at the
Basically, you
weekend.
better listen here.
You better get your pocket money saved because this is some serious business. So I went to a hen do at the weekend. As you well know, listen, I'm a good time gal, I'm a sociable person.
Oh, but hen
sometimes
do's are like, they do ask a lot of you at hen do.
I can find it quite exhausting, I would say.
to be on.
Yes.
And like also,
and nice.
and like people think we're funny in real life. And
I'm not so funny. I haven't got many jokes for you when I'm tired and I'm on
find that
day
shocking.
3
Do you know what I
of a
mean?
hangover.
What, and you think I'm going to be life and soul?
I can't even stand up, babe. I haven't got anything to say to you, and I definitely can't ask you about your job again. Do you know what I mean? I find it quite hard. So anyway, we went to this event the night before I left for this hen do, and we got this new perfume, which it's revolutionary, darlings.
It's the first AI perfume,
It's
darlings.
the first of its kind, darlings.
It's first to the market, darlings.
She honestly was like a cult leader, Charlotte Tilbury.
She
God
was
love
like,
you.
this is not my marketing bullshit, darlings. This is real. This is 40 plus years of research, darlings.
I know, darlings. Darlings. I know, no, listen in the back, darlings, because this is serious, darlings. Shush in the back.
You're going to want to hear this because you're going to
She
want to
was
hear
like
this,
the
darlings.
Messiah.
Yeah.
And me and Al were at the front. I'm like dribbling, like, oh, I'll buy anything, babe. Anyway, got hashtag gifted a bottle.
I said to her, she's such a visionary.
Yeah, Al just stands there after her speech and she's just like dead serious, deadpan. Gosh, she's such a visionary.
She is, to be fair. She is. She's converted you, babe. I don't know what you're rolling your eyes
She's
about.
converted me. She's converted me.
So anyway, so this perfume.
This perfume, it's basically meant to evoke emotion in you and others around you, anyone who smells it, basically. And you think, yeah, placebo, whatever. She's got one for feeling calm. She's got one for feeling empowered. She's got one for getting
Sex,
laid.
yeah.
Yeah. And then she's got one for joy. This was the one that we got kindly hashtag gifted. Anyway, I thought before I left for the hen, I best dose myself up in
Shower
this.
yourself in that.
I best bathe in the joy because I'm going to need to be on and nice. And, it's my cousin's hen. I've got to be nice to her friends. I can't be like, who was that moody bitch in the corner? So anyway, dose myself in it. I was honestly the best version of myself all weekend. I was so kind. I was so nice. And actually, I put some on this morning. I think I've been quite nice today, haven't
Charlotte, if you're listening.
It works.
Well done. Bravo.
Well done, because I am a moody cow. Sometimes I can be very passag, and you've really drawn that out of me somehow.
Those neuroscientists, they've outdone themselves.
They really have. And as of those perfumists, what are they called?
They are
Perfumiers.
perfume.
Parfumoirs. Hakabasamos. I don't actually know what we're talking about. That's why I can't segue on. Anyone know what we're doing today?
Oh, we're talking about work. Perfect segue. Charlotte Tilbury's been hard at work.
Good.
No. And,
No, do it again. It was so good.
Okay, sorry. So we've been bathing in Charlotte Tilbury's hard work, and now
So good.
you're all going to get to bathe in other Gallies' stories about work.
That was honestly, that should win a podcast award. I'm not even joking.
I would like to get that.
I thought that was so good.
Can we, whoever's in this building, whoever's listening to this podcast, could you get us to the areas or whatever the fuck they're called, the podcast awards?
Oh, the areas. Is that what they're called?
I thought, is that
Areas.
Oh, I would call it.
I don't know what you're calling it.
ARIA.
A-R-I-A.
Maybe that's the radio ones. Anyway, I know there's a podcast award and Peter and Abby Clancy won it last year. And that's why I'm sure that's why they got to present at the Brits. So could we get a table at these podcast arias, whatever the hell they're called?
I think you might need to ask elsewhere, but if any Gallies are listening that are involved in that.
Oh,
then
I was talking directly to Universal. I don't know if anyone from Universal is listening to us. Probably not.
Probably not. You might need to stand in the corridor, shout a bit louder. Okay, well, let's have the first voice note then.
What are they called today? We best call them Charlotte.
Oh, we best have Charlotte.
We best have Charlotte.
Charlie Tilb.
Hi, Gallies. My white lie, which is kind of like a lost. No, it wasn't a losing virginity, but it was a sexcapade. You know when you play a game of like, where's the weirdest place you've had sex? And then it comes round and I'll lie because mine is that it was with my boss in a pub in this beer cellar bent over a barrel. And I will lie about that and take it to my grave. Well, not anymore because I've just told you all. I think I told someone maybe once and then like fully lied about that. I was like, no, that wasn't me. Is it a white lie? Is it grey? Maybe it's more of like a big lie because it's so embarrassing. But it happened, and I'm just glad it never happened again.
So good.
Okay.
That is so good. I have so much to say.
Me too. Right, number one. What's the difference? How are we categorising black lies and white lies?
And grey lies. And in between lies.
I don't think that's a white lie, babe.
That's not a white lie because
A white lie is like...
what is a white lie? Like what like constitutes as you're allowed to white lie?
Did you send that email? Yeah, I did it.
And then you do it 5 minutes later.
That's a white lie.
That's allowed.
Or you look great in that dress.
Oh, I don't think that's white, babe. I think that's pretty grey.
I think that.
No, your hair doesn't look bad today.
It's grey. It's a grey lie.
Yeah, that is... Okay, depends who's asking. If Karen's asking you and you're telling her her hair looks good, that's a white lie.
A white, yeah. Or like if you're, like
in a
I've done a few.
relationship,
Yeah,
or
so
it's
I
like-
got one with my ex.
Go on.
He had this really weird thing about the Box, the club in London.
Oh, and you would say you went somewhere else.
He didn't like it. And one night I had been to the Box.
Why didn't he like the Box?
He was away. Because he's a granddad and he like Googled it and like it said Prince Harry goes to sex party at the Box. So then he thought it was like a sex club, which it's not. It's not.
No, it's not. It's
They
not
just do this weird show basically, but it's the furthest thing from sexy I've ever witnessed in my life. It's bizarre.
You don't go there to get laid.
No.
Well,
You don't get laid in the Box.
No,
No
no.
one's getting laid at the Box, I don't think. Well, maybe they are. I'm not. Anyway, I'd been to the Box, and how bad is this? I white lied, and I was like, oh yeah, I just went to Below Stone's Nest. And he was like, I thought you got home at like 3. And I was like, yeah, I did. He was like, well, Below Stone's Nest closes at 1.
No. Oh, you got caught in your lie.
I got caught. I got. So bad. White lies are so hard because you have to remember the white lies you've told and then you get lost in your own web of white lies and then you think, oh my God, did I say I was at dinner with a friend or did I say I was teaching spin? Can't remember why I said I wasn't going, but I said I wasn't going and I can't remember why. Do you know what I mean?
Or I would have it with you. This hasn't happened.
Oh, white
But like
lies.
if Volvic by accident sent me to
You would
boxes,
lie and
I
say
would
they said one box.
one.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's really hard with stuff like that because I catch myself doing that all the time. Like stories like that. She's obviously lied to cover something up. She's just not told the truth. That's not really a white lie. Like you just haven't said your weirdest place.
No,
your
I don't think
place-
that's even a lie. Yeah.
No, it's just like avoiding
You've just
the truth.
withheld the truth.
Yeah. But sometimes I will like tell stories and I'll just think, God, that wasn't even true. Why did I do that? Do you ever do that?
But in what situation? If you've just embellished a story?
Sometimes it'll be embellish a story, or sometimes it'll just be like on a date, for example. Like recently, this guy was like, "Oh yeah," and like, "Did you see Poor Things at the cinema?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, great film. Never seen it."
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Because you fuck yourself. Because then you're in a conversation where you have to say, like, then I have to rack my brains about all the things I've read online about Poor Things, pretending I've watched it.
Why would you? I do that all the time. Though.
Why would you do that?
You say it to be like cool.
It's not even cool. Yeah, it's always
To be like in.
or to have something in common.
Yeah.
Like to just be a bit like, oh yeah, sure. And then imagine he goes, what's your favourite bit?
I actually do that a lot.
The bit with Emma Stone is so good. I don't really know specifically the whole bit.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Do that all the time.
Or you do it the other way, where like I do this a lot too, where Raw will be like, did you put the like chicken packet in the recycling and now the whole recycling thing smells like, wasn't me. I don't know who
I didn't do that.
Oh God, there must be someone else in our house because that literally wasn't me.
Oh my God, this is so bad because so much happened in this hen. I can't believe it, but my cousin will be listening. I was really drunk, so Jess, you've got to let me off. But basically, this guy had come in the day. This is actually so bad. Classic me. This guy had come in the day to set up a karaoke machine. Hilarious.
The
His name's
acne
Steve.
man.
No, that's the bartender.
Fine.
We had a lot of men in the house. Anyway, Steve sets up this karaoke machine. I've been day drinking and he gives us this big explanation of how to use the machine.
You broke it.
I pressed a button that I wasn't meant to press and Jay came over and was like, well, someone's turned it off. And I was like,
What's me?
I didn't press. I pressed the keyboard.
I've actually never even touched that in my life.
And I did turn it off.
I've literally, I didn't even know what that thing looks like.
And
I
then
didn't
we
even know
had
what
to
the button
reset
looks
the
like.
whole thing. Also, sorry, another thing on the hen that I just thought of.
I do that all
one
the
of
time.
Steph's friends, I do it all the time. One of Steph's friends works in HR and I was like, I love people who work in HR. Hilarious. You get all the goods. You get the bad stuff, the good stuff, the juicy stuff. And I said, come on, tell me what's the like craziest thing that's happened. And she goes, honestly, it is the shagging. And I was like, she was like, yeah, had one incident.
Who's this, Steph?
No, one of her friends. I won't name her in case anyone puts two and two together.
She loses her job after this.
Yeah, exactly. Her name's Barry. She was telling me, about these two colleagues at work shagging on the pool table in the office after hours, caught on the cameras.
Right, what's the weirdest or worst place you've ever had sex?
I had sex against an electricity box in Spain.
That's not that weird, babe.
But
That's just basically a wall.
it was with like a family friend that I really wasn't meant to shag and I accidentally did.
Oh God, I've done that too actually now I think about it.
About against the yellow and
No,
green
about a family
electricity
friend I
box.
wasn't supposed to
Oh
shag.
yeah. They said, can you be careful of that one? And they were all like, you'll make it really uncomfortable for everyone.
And it is.
And it was afterwards, and I did think I should have listened. Sorry
What are you talking
about that. You won't know him.
Oh.
He's got a twitch. It's one thing I remember about him so clearly.
I was in the Gaucho Club.
The Gaucho Club. What is that? The steak restaurant?
Yeah.
Where did you shag him in the steak restaurant?
We were
Pre-steak or post?
it was post. We weren't just on our own. We were
What
like
have you had? A Cote de Boeuf?
No, we were at this party.
Peppercorn sauce.
We were
with
at
side of shag.
We were at this 21st birthday. This girl had hired the private room there, and like I won't name who it is.
You sound so private school right now. I love it.
No,
Go
I
on, keep
know.
going.
I know. We're not friends anymore, so fine.
We don't talk anymore. Probably because you left before pudding to shag one of our mates.
And it was boring. So Raw and I were like, should we just go?
Oh, you and Raw.
Oh, not some randomer,
God,
babe.
it used to be fun. I love it. You too. It's like when mum and dad used to have a bit of a like spooky sex in the back in the back seat.
And then this weekend we had sex, and I texted her straight away. We did it!
Yeah, really good.
First time in about 6 weeks. I thought, oh my God, Macy.
And it came from nowhere, didn't it, baby? You didn't even tee him up for it.
We were. Can you imagine us having sex in the Gaucho Club these days?
No, in the toilet.
Yeah.
Wild.
But when we finished, we realised that we hadn't actually shut the door. Luckily, no one had come in. But if they had...
Wait, was it... You were in cubicles?
It was a cubicle, but it was like a big... You know, there was like big cubicles.
Disabled. That's even worse. Were you in the disabled toilet?
No. You know, it's like a bathroom.
No, don't cancel me. No, I wasn't.
Oh, I've done on a park bench too. I think everyone's done on a park bench.
Sorry, I'm not very voyeuristic. Like, I don't actually really like the idea of shagging outside.
I don't love it. Listen, I was 17 and thick. You know, like I was
I've been fingered on a park bench, but I haven't shagged anyone
I've shagged
there.
on a park bench actually, so I trump you there, babe.
She wants to win the shagging competition. I think you can.
I
don't
think you definitely win the shagging competition, babe.
Not for weird places.
Oh, I've done loads of, like on a beach.
Yeah, I've had sex on a beach. Like back of cars. In like car parks
everyone's
or
done
like
that.
dogging spots. There's a really good dogging spot in Cheltenham if anyone needs to know it. I'll give you the...
Dogging?
Dogging.
Shagging.
It's where you shag in a car, but you go to it's called a dogging spot. So it's like loads of other people go and do dogging.
Wow. Babe, I'm not going to lie. I don't think that's a well-known phenomenon.
Oh, is it not? It is. Poppy's like, it is. I've done it. I've been there. Poppy's like, it definitely is.
I've done the woods as well. When we first...
The woods.
When we... No, like, you know when you go into like the woods and there's like no one there, but like there's also no cover? So like if anyone walked... Yeah, done that.
In the day?
Bent over, yeah. Just me and Raw, we were so... We used to be so horny. I actually don't know what happened to us. We used to go to the Waitrose car park.
You're
and
crazy.
Just, like,
I've
shag
done
in the
that
car
once
park.
against a tree and I thought it just hurt and I felt largely uncomfortable about who might see.
I think a lot of those instances, I didn't actually enjoy it. I just thought I needed to tick
I genuinely
the
think they might be pointless.
Yeah, oh yeah. Don't waste your time
I'll
up
never
against a
forget
tree.
one of my friends once did shag her boyfriend on a plane in the seat. She sat on his lap and they fucked. That's
Shut.
horrific, isn't it?
In business.
No, babe.
How are they even doing that, babe?
Business.
Everyone would say, in business at least you could put the privacy.
She had a
screen.
skirt on. And I believe... I did ask the dynamics at the time because I thought, and he was pretending to like show her out the window and like they were joking around. I don't know how long it lasted, but they did.
You can fully get banned from
You can
flying
get
for that.
arrested. It's outrageous.
Can you get arrested for that?
Sorry, we need to move on.
Charlotte number 2.
Babe, can I just say to Charlotte, number one, I think it's really important that you keep that story
To yourself.
to yourself.
Yeah.
Because actually, we've just like really digressed and told some of our stories and I regret most of them. So actually, I
Some
would
of those
just...
might have to get cut, actually.
Yeah, poor
Because
Raw.
I think,
He'll never be able to go to work again.
you know what I mean?
Hi guys, just wanted to say love you both so much.
Obsessed.
My embarrassing story is I am a member of the acronym community, more specifically the G, and I partake in extracurricular activities through the very famous Gay Man's app.
Grindr.
This has got me into some trouble at work, as one day I was at work and this gentleman walked in and kind of recognised who he was straight away, but didn't really like pinpoint where I knew him from.
Hard out of context.
He sat down, go over to him, ask him, how's he doing? Can I get him anything? And he says that he's there to see my manager at the time. So go over to my manager and I say, hi, that this guy is here and he wants to see you. She goes, perfect. He's actually going to be a new manager starting this week. I was like, okay, great. At this point, still hadn't figured out where I know him from.
Oh no.
It then clicks. Me and him had been sexting on Grindr for about 6 months at this point. Luckily, we had never met. Then later find out that he has a boyfriend, but they are in an open relationship.
Ugh.
He then starts asking me advice on how to propose to the person.
No.
And that he wants to marry them. He has now left, luckily, but to this day, he worked there for about a year. We never spoke about it whatsoever. Everyone else at work knows what happened, but he still doesn't know that they know.
I love that, Charlotte, too, that you're like at the coffee machine, like you'll never guess what Darren said to me a few weeks where he'd like to put his fingers.
Can I say,
never guess.
I think sexting is worse than having shagged him.
I agree because you
you've
go
got
somewhere crazy.
You've got hard evidence. It's there in black and white.
And think about the things you say when you're sexting and you're in the mood.
No, you know when you go back and you think, was I possessed?
No.
Was I
Babe.
possessed by a devil?
Sometimes I get really into it, hella into it. I say the weirdest stuff.
I've got, babe, I've got almost 2 years worth of sex between Raw and I.
'Cause it
Bristol
was
to
long
Newcastle.
distance. Yeah.
Just
The pictures.
I can't even think about it. It makes me feel violently unwell. I used to have a Vault, babe. I used to have a photo Vault app on my phone.
Really good. That's actually really genius. I have
it's
used many messaging
really
apps where the
dark.
messages are disappearing. It's very, very good if anyone needs
That's
them. I'll let you
better.
know. Yeah. There's one called Wicker. Really good.
They don't disappear on Grindr.
Oh dear. Do you know that Grindr? I would love for a day to be a gay man on Grindr because honestly, some of the boys that dig me, their stories, I honestly like,
Babe, it's the Wild West out there. It's the fucking Wild
the
West.
hell do you all survive? Like honestly, like it's like, you know how in this modern day and age, if you want a little something wet, a little sparkly something, You know there's a convenience store in London around 100 yards away and you'll get one. That's Grindr. If I want to shag, I have to talk to someone for 2 weeks, I have to go to a bar.
Yes.
It's a nightmare to find a man I want to shag. Grindr, they'll be there in 5.
Also, I don't know. I don't want to blanket rule
It's like
this.
Deliveroo for men. Grindr.
Basically, yeah. Basically.
Wow.
I feel like generally there are rules, but it appears that there are no rules when it comes to Grindr.
I would agree.
And gay men
Reckless.
shagging.
Yeah.
No rules.
Do what you want.
Like finger and dick at the same time, no problem.
All of it.
Like if you want to come over and then leave in literally 15 minutes.
And not even say my name,
No
fine.
problem.
It's the sexting. Like, how funny. Like, you've actually got someone that you'd go on Grindr for just when you're feeling a bit horny and you don't want to shag, but you do want to sext. And now they're your manager. You hate to hear that, don't you?
Also, it is that thing of like, where have I, when you've seen them,
Where do I know you from?
When you've seen them arsehole in the air and then they walk in wearing a white tie and a white shirt and a suit, you do think, oh God, who the hell is that?
you do. I mean, I've rarely forgot who I've like sexted or shagged. I
You
haven't
look
shagged that many
different
people.
when you're stood up, when not, when I've got my dick inside you.
Babe, they didn't shag.
Or when I've seen your bumhole on my phone screen.
Yeah. God, hopefully it was just
Or even that though,
messages.
when you do see someone that you have shagged
Oh God.
in real life,
Oh,
out of
God.
context, at work or
Yeah.
on the tube, and you
horrible,
think, oh God.
horrible, and then you get flashbacks, visceral flashbacks.
I had
I'm
that.
sorry, but I
Sorry.
couldn't have waited for a year. I'd have had to have said, looked him in the eye and been like, sorry, do you not remember when you said you wanted your mouth around my dick?
I was going to say, I would have said to him, there must have been a moment in a year when you were there just the two
so you
of
could crack a joke
To be like,
about the
haha,
fact you used to sex.
lol, that was really like,
Maybe
whatever.
it's not so lol as the
I
manager.
don't
It's
think it
probably
is.
not that long. Sorry, what were you just going to say? You've bumped into someone you shagged and you regretted it or something?
No, of that thing where you see them. So, this guy, Dick, who he was this guy in Exeter. I think I've spoken about him before, but long story short, he actually ditched me. And like this would have been like a year ago on Angel Station on the platform. It's the biggest platform I've ever seen in my life. It's honestly like 10 meters wide, this
Right.
platform. I'm at the front and the tube like comes up and like when like the doors don't open.
No, what are the
For like,
chances?
like literally 15 seconds.
stood there?
He stood there. We're looking at each other for like genuinely 15 seconds.
Sorry.
And for a second I thought, oh gosh, who is that? Why is he so familiar? Obviously then I clicked, he's been inside me. And then I had to look at him, and then he walked off and we didn't even say a word to each other. And I thought, oh
horrible.
God, awful. It's so awful.
Do I never bump into people? Ever?
It's better that way, babe. It's much better that way.
I must be the opposite of a magnet. I like repel them away.
Oh, I wish they'd all just like move
One of my
abroad.
exes lives in Tooting. Nor have I seen him once.
That's the universe looking out for you, babe, because that's not right.
Thank God for it. I would shit myself if I bumped into him, to be fair.
What would you say?
How's your acting career going? Haven't seen you in much recently.
Hi girls, loving the pod. It's basically a bit of a call for some detective work to see what the hell you gallies think happened. It happened a few years ago when I started to get the impression that someone in the office liked me. Let's call him Tim. And Tim's feelings for me were confirmed by a mutual friend who actually told me that he did like a retro style fist pump in the office when he'd heard that I was single. But he did eventually pluck up the courage to ask me out, and we planned to go on a date. Flash forward to the Friday before our date, and we were both on separate nights out with friends, but naturally ended up arranging to meet in the club, where we eventually left together to head back to his. He was really sweet, and we ended up doing the deed a few times. This is where the story takes a bit of a turn.
Oh no.
After staying up all night together and spending the morning talking about life, Tim went to take a shower and I texted my friend, let's call him Sam, who also happened to be his roommate. I was under the impression that he wasn't in the house. Unfortunately, he was. What was weird was when we all emerged in the kitchen, the vibe was off. And these are two best friends and roommates, and also someone I've just slept with, and like my really good friend as well. So I just couldn't understand why there was a weird atmosphere. That day, I barely heard a peep from Tim.
I hate that.
But as I was pretty busy and he'd made it clear that he was looking forward to the date tomorrow, I thought, again, nothing of it. Until Sunday afternoon, when chatting to the roommate, Sam, I was informed that Tim had packed up his car on Saturday and drove home to his parents' house down south without saying a word to me. He eventually cancelled the date on Sunday afternoon via text with very little way of reasoning. And here's the clincher. I never heard from him again. Total ghosting. And neither did his friend Sam for about 12 months. Now, the only background info I have is that something happened the night before we hooked up on the Thursday night between Tim and Sam that was Sam's fault. I've always wondered if they kissed or something, but I'm interested. What do you guys think happened?
Oh, mic drop.
Babe, excellent voice note. Thank you for entering the group chat.
Charlotte 3, I'm thrilled to have you here. What?
Right, let's get down to work then. This is serious business now.
I'm sweating. Are you? I feel hot.
But I've actually written spy, question mark.
You're the... Oh, you think he might be a spy?
There is no explanation.
How did he get out of his rent? How did he stop work?
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he had the same job as you as well. I thought he was in your office.
How did he do it all? He did a disappearing act. They shagged. Do you think they shagged?
Yeah, she said we did it a couple of times.
No, him and Sam.
Oh, okay. My first thought was Sam knows something.
He thought Sam might know that he actually has a girlfriend or something.
Something like that. But that wouldn't married.
How old are they all? Maybe it's too much to be married.
Quite young.
They sound young.
My first
young people sometimes get married. I know it's mad, but they do. It's crazy. It actually is. That's an illness.
No, I know. It's a disease.
Sorry to be so judgmental, but that's wild. If you're religious, I'll let you off. But otherwise, things crazy.
Right, my first thought was Sam knows something, and that's why he was being weird in the kitchen. Because like your best mate and this guy you've just shagged and had a lovely night with and stayed up all night with, it should be fun. Should be lovely.
This is where I'm confused because it's like, okay, within the bubble of you guys shagging and staying up all night having DMCs chatting, he was able to be normal with you. Like you didn't catch that vibe with him until he was in the kitchen with Sam.
Maybe he's a psycho that he can put a mask on for that long.
Maybe Sam confessed his love for you, Charlotte number 3, and said
no. That wouldn't make Tim leave though. Why would he leave?
Because Tim felt so guilty that his mate had looked him in the eye and been like, "I'd love for you not to go on a date with her because I actually really fancy her." And then he met her out and shagged her. Then he had to look Sam in the eye the next day, and the guilt. Maybe he is a really good guy, Tim, and the guilt killed him.
Right, that's option 1. Option 2 is he's a horrible guy. There's basically he's not normal.
Something's gone wrong.
Something's gone
really wrong.
He's either exactly that. He's either so good that he's guilty.
So bad that you like could never. Have you done an STI test, babe? Has he given you something horrible? You must check that.
That's a good question.
You must ask your work what reason he gave.
You must get friends with HR at work.
What reason he gave for terminating his contract?
Because that's crazy to be able to just leave your job unless you're in like a 0-hour contract job, which you could be, to be fair. Sorry,
I just think
disappearing acts fascinate me.
My immediate emotional response was he's done something wrong, because you don't leave out of guilt. You don't pack up your whole life for someone else's guilt. They'll get over it. I just think like
but it's Tim's guilt. If Tim's done something wrong, it's his guilt.
Overhurting his friend, but like they weren't like married.
But you think he did shag someone?
I only think that the only thing that could have happened is that he's done something that he can't face,
and Sam said to Tim, "I'll tell her,"
and that's why he's left, because he can't handle it. Because it's just why.
How bad can it be though? Like you don't at that stage. You don't owe her anything. If he shagged a girl the night before, he owes her nothing. Well, like the STI.
Yeah.
What if it's something like that he's like given her something? Scabies. Check for scabies.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I know someone that has scabies. But that's not you.
Who?
And
have I met them recently?
No.
Oh, thank
God.
you
met me recently. Every day, actually.
Have you got them?
No. But he was saying that you're wrong, that you can get it from sharing. You have to have close contact with someone for 15 minutes, which is why people think it's an STD, because you obviously have close contact when you have 15 minutes plus. But guys, babe, not to make you prang, but we spend more than 15 minutes with each other every single day.
Not close contact.
Close contact is like sharing clothes, sharing items.
Okay, well, that's bad news for me.
Sharing a bed.
Sharing a bed.
I mean, I guess the conclusion is we'll never know, but...
No, my conclusion is you must ask HR.
You must get an STI test if you have.
Get an STI test, check in with HR, or actually I'd have driven to his house. I'd have been like, Sam, where do his parents live? Saltburn vibes. I'd have turned up. Yeah. Because I want to know the truth.
Demand an answer.
I'm going there, Charlotte, next week.
That is, I agree though, fascinating. The fact that people can psychologically just pick up a knee because they can't face
and say nothing ever again.
Well,
did you try and call him? Babe, you're going to have to voice note.
Of course she tried and called him, babe. I don't think she just let him leave.
Was probably looking forward to bowling.
Time for a quick DP?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's wrap this shit up.
I will not stop thinking about that. That is mental.
We're going to lose sleep over Tim.
Yeah, I will.
Right, Charlotte number 1, little white lie because she can't play a game of where's the weirdest place you've had sex because she shagged her boss over a barrel.
Keep withholding the truth is what I'd say.
But also, it's not crazy. And now you don't actually work with your boss.
I actually don't. How do you know? Did she say that?
Yeah, I think if you've left the job, I actually think it's kind of a funny story.
I don't think you want everyone. If you're actually a proper corporate girl, you don't want everyone knowing that you shagged your boss bent over a barrel in a beer cellar. Do you know what I mean?
Judgy.
Oh, I'm not judging. I'm saying
the corporate world's so judgy. Relax.
She also said, I feel like she mentioned virginity, so that might have been her first time as well.
Miss that.
Are you mad?
Hold on, why did you not flag that earlier? Hello?
Oh my God, roll the tapes. Re-roll the tapes. We weren't listening properly.
That was her virginity.
With the boss. Sorry, I take issue with the boss.
Why,
I take
babe?
big issue with the boss.
He wouldn't
you
have
can't
known.
shag your employees, number 1, especially not when they're virgins. That's wild.
Don't agree. Because I think, listen.
You think that a male boss in a position of power can just go around shagging little girls that haven't lost their virginities?
Number 1, he wouldn't have known unless she'd been very forthcoming about her virginity.
True.
And number 2,
but he can't shag his employees.
You don't know how old he is. He could be only 5 years older than you. Some bosses are older than you.
Power dynamic.
I actually don't agree because I think it depends what kind of company you work in. If you're like in a really like, and he's like, CEO of Goldman Sachs and you're just like the associate.
He can't shag
that's
you.
An issue. But not if you're like in a startup and like, it's all a bit like pally.
But even in a bar, like I wouldn't have let my manager, like it's bad. The manager, if he'd have tried to shag me in the bar.
It's bad.
It's
not great.
It's not ideal.
It's not great.
You want to shag on your own level. One above, maybe.
I would say go for the boss if he's rich, but if you're
going
rich,
to do it, then do it well. Okay, Charlotte number 2, a member of the LGBTQ plus community and a very active member of Grindr who was sexting his now manager. That is my idea of hell, seeing that face in front of me, because I honestly think about some of the things I've said. I'd be so mortified.
I'd have to quit my job.
I'd go bright red and I'd leave.
100%.
I'd do a Tim. 100. I'd be like,
yes.
Got a Tim on this.
Got to ghost you now. Got to ghost this whole company.
Got to leave.
Some of the things as well, and then you would go. Imagine seeing him walking in and then like going to the loo and getting your phone out and looking through
and
everything.
rereading what he'd said like the night before.
And like
they were sexting for 6 months.
Him sending you like his fucking bare asshole and stuff. Like that is not right to be sat opposite him on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. That's not cool.
And you know what he looks like bent over in a mirror. Charlotte number 3, star of the week.
Right, babe. You must get a private investigator on this.
We don't have enough facts or enough access to the info that we need to be able to decipher this, because it's very serious and we must find out what happened to Tim.
I reckon something bad. I reckon he's done something bad that he can't face and he's just run away back to his mum's house because he can't deal with it.
Did someone die? Like, what has happened?
You don't leave your whole life behind because it's got to be something bad enough for you to literally pack up your whole life, leave your job, leave your home, finish.
I can't think of something bad enough.
Like literally like stabbing your boss or like stabbing her mum or something. Like, it's that deep. What would be that bad that would make you pack up and leave? Nothing. It's got to be really deep. You must do some more digging. Find out all of the information. Go and like call his mum.
Poor Tim. What's happening on his Facebook? That's always a good place to start.
I think we should normalise confronting people. Just ask the question.
I agree, but how's she going to get to him? Like, she actually does need to go to his house.
She said that he came back 12 months later, so somebody has access.
Oh, Sam spoke to him a year later. You're so right. Babe, you must ring him.
Babe, but we listened to these voice notes. We're missing a lot of information that
I actually remember that. Sorry, but when you've got so much to say,
I know.
and then you're being wrapped up, it's very difficult.
All of our notes.
I've got so many notes. Oh my God, that was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Gallies. We love you.
If you listened to any of those voice notes and you thought, I can trump that, then please do send us a voice note because we love them. They literally keep this show alive. So thank you so much.
We always say, week on week they get better. You think you've got a good story, someone will do better than you next week. They can always be better.
Always be better.
You can always be happier.
You could always be happier.
The words Michael.
Childish. Thank you for listening to Leave a Message.
Please subscribe. Please actually subscribe. We must get those subscribers numbers up, team. And subscribe and follow.
And tell your friends. Send to your friends. Send the episode to your friends if you like it.
Send it to your nan. Send it to your parents.
Maybe don't send it to your parents.
Maybe don't send it to your boss, especially not this episode.
And maybe don't send it to your nan, actually, in hindsight. Maybe just send it to your peers. Send it to people on Grindr. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
That's the kind of audience we're looking for.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.